Many, including the Prime Minister, are weighing in on an incident on an Air Canada flight where the Assembly of First Nations National Chief had her headdress taken from her. Cindy Woodhouse Nepinak posted photos of the incident on social media on Thursday. For more on what happened, we're joined now by the National Chief. National Chief, thanks for being with us to talk about this. Can you tell us what happened on the Air Canada flight?
Thank you, Dennis. Thanks for having us as well. I appreciate you very much. Unfortunately, everything was fine. It was, as we know, we travel to different territories to be with our people, all the time. And the past few months, I've taken my headdress. I received my headdress on January 1st of this year from the Blackfoot Confederacy, from the APTN Nation, and I appreciate them very much. And we've carried it all these months. Everything's been fine until Wednesday, when unfortunately we got through security okay. We got through the plane okay. We got on the plane, put my bags on the overhead, my one bag on the overhead bin, put my my headdress with me in my seat, under the seat in front of me, and it was fine until that point. And then the stewardess came and took it away from me, and they wanted to wrap it in garbage bags and put it underneath the plane. And then at that point, my staff were kind of, I think I was a little bit stunned. I didn't say anything right away. I want to thank Canadians that stood up for us, though, in that moment. I think they recognized that was unacceptable, and I'm glad for them. It was really nice to see that people cared, that people wanted, particularly in a time when our people are always faced with discrimination like this. It was nice to see Canadians try to help. Many of them were sitting around trying to kind of giving the airline employees heck about leaving my stuff alone and letting me get my stuff together. So at that point, they'd grabbed some of my stuff and my regalia and my headpiece, and I opened it back up. They were trying to put garbage bags already at that point. They had it in their possession. I took it back. I pulled out the headpiece, my headdress from there, and I put it on me on my seat with me. And then they had taken the case. They wrapped it in plastic. They put it under, and then thankfully down. About an hour and a half later, when we had landed, the pilot went back and he went to get it for me in the back. But it was really a disheartening situation, and I think it's a pivotal moment of trying to learn from this. I'm glad it was me and not somebody else. I don't know, but it makes me, then all these stories come in, right, of what our people go through in this country when it comes to airline travel. I know POW season's coming up, ceremony season's coming up. People travel all the time, and I hope we can do better. And I know that I talked to Air Canada today. I talked to the president just moments ago, and I told him that we're going to be calling for a mandatory board member on Air Canada, the board of directors. That should be a First Nations person. We've asked for protocol for First Nations people, and we've called for cross-cultural training for all of their staff as well. And we're calling for a face-to-face meeting, of course, with our knowledge keepers and hopefully some of our youth, young people, and their board of directors. I think it's also important that they try and create, on top of the having a board member on their board of directors. I think it's so important that, and I think all airlines should do that for our people, and all industries should take this as a learning lesson. And if your board member has no First Nations people on it, something is wrong, right? And I think that in Canada, you should look at your board and say, what makes up this country? And that includes our people and Indigenous people, and making sure that there's representation on all boards. I think also a circle of advisors would help. I know that, and I say this because AMC, the Manitoba Chiefs, back when, I just heard that this actually from Phil Fontaine yesterday, and this goes back to his days, all this, these unnecessary hurt, I guess you can say, but he had said that they went after the Employment Equity Act way back, and AMC had done that, and annually Air Canada was to report on how many pilots they have, how many flight attendants, all of their workers. The airline was to reflect Canada, so to speak, including First Nations people. And that's never, I don't think, I've never heard about that bill. I don't know if you've heard reports back on that year after year of how far they've come since then. I'd like to take a deeper look at that. But I think we have a long way to go in this country, and we have to all keep pushing. And I know sometimes these things happen and they're hurtful, but maybe sometimes Creator lets that happen so that we could try and find change in a different way.
National Chief, we agree. I hope this will lead to some changes, and some of the changes that you're calling for with Air Canada there. We'll have to leave it there, but appreciate you taking the time for us.
Thank you, Dennis.